earlier. So
I was thinking, okay.
Now we got it.
Now we got it. Okay, now it makes a little more sense for us. So sorry about that, folks at home. Whenever I'm just turning page after page after page as far as the schedule goes, and that's the way it works out for me. Hey, here's the way it works out for KTM's Vincent Luhovi Jr. from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. He gets the Stay-Stick Stability Whole Shot Award and picks up a little bit of extra pats on the back there, but we'll see how far that goes here in Moto number 1 as things get sorted out here. He has got all kinds of company. Luhovi coming down through that 10 Commandments with that early lead. That's Mason Gonzalez out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida on a Rock River Yamaha, backed by MTF and Monster Energy back there in that number 2 position, or trying to go for the number 1 spot as back here in Storyland, the story unfolds early on in lap number 1, and Gonzalez looks like he may be, yes, taking over the lead now as we head out of Storyland to close this chapter and head now back toward the heart of this racetrack.
Yeah, strictly a power move right there. Rodney Soonen, he made that corner, got on that gas, set it up in the straightaway before. Vinny Luhovi had to go outside, didn't have a choice, took the long way around, and just wasn't able to get out of that corner in a slingshot. Now you see the number 11 under attack right now from that number 35 machine.
That's
and
Jack Rogers.
I thought it might be Rogers. So Jack Rogers trying to get up there and get a piece of Luhovi. Luhovi's going to go down deep, but Rogers knows that sets him up next for the inside. And right now, here we go at the end of lap 1. We've got a race on our hands, and sure enough, underneath the finish line they go.
Well, way they break down after lap 1, Mason Gonzalez, Luhovi, Robert Marshall, the number 47 in third. There's Jack Rogers on the Beeline Racing Machine. Styles Robertson, the number 25 Husky in 5th. Christian Fernandez is 6th aboard the number 16, and it's 7th. Braden Lessler, 8th. Chandler Baker, and then of course who I can't see who that was at 9th. Jace Kessler rounding out the top 10. Rene Garcia, Austin Black, Preston Kilroy, Nathan Augustin, Colin Park starting out in 15th here. Dylan Schwartz, another key player in this one. We saw in that 250 Pro Sport class. He actually, if memory serves me correct, had to work his way back up in Moto number 1 of that class. He's in 16th right now. Trevor Schmidt 17th. Jairi Mitchell in 18th. Nathan Laporte 19th. Cody Groves rounds out your top 20 here on lap number 1.
Yeah, you're correct. Schwartz was back a good bit in that last moto of his, but that guy's a charger. He has no problem putting his head down and starting picking people off. He has no problem putting in the effort. Right now, Luhovi actually trying to close back up on Gonzalez just a bit. Luhovi found some speed back there in the forest and able to make a bit of ground up, but right now he's got Marshall right behind him and made a little bit of mistake on that inside rut, and that's all it took.
Well, Gonzalez getting that little bit of breathing room that a rider looks for early on here on lap number 2. All the battling, all the attack taking place back in the number 2 spot for Luhovi, Marshall, Jack Rogers, and Styles Robertson, that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place ride. I don't think we can count Fernandez out of that one too much either. The number 16 KTM, also a big part of that mix and match, as it looks like we do have some things changing up front there in the 2nd place position. That's Styles Robertson all the way up to 2nd place now. The number 11 machine of Luhovi is dropped to the number 3 position. Robert Marshall is 4th. Jack Rogers in 5th. Fernandez is up to 4th. Marshall is 5th. Chandler Baker in 6th. Jack Rogers in 7th. Dylan Schwartz, wow, up to 8th place.
In that 8th spot, bro.
Wow, Jace Kessler in 9th. Preston Kilroy rounding out the top 10. What an amazing push there by Dylan Schwartz. Man, he can make up passes fast out here in these early laps, and certainly late in the race, he's still got a lot of energy to lay down. But man, as much as he laid down out there a little bit ago, as Jason Wygant joins us here, you have to wonder what kind of fuel has this man got left in the tank after the moto that he just put forth there just a little while ago.
Yeah, and it was a little odd to have both 250 Pro Motos run before the first Open Pro Moto. I was talking to Kerry Russell about that, and it's all about having the space between motos for everyone involved, and sometimes you got to throw one of these in to give another rider in 2 different classes that try to get at least 3 motos in between everybody's motos. So some motos end up almost as placeholders in the mix. These guys can ride either bike, it doesn't matter. You're watching Schwartz, who was certainly quick in the 250 Pro Sport, looking fast in open. But I'll tell you, he's had to do some work through traffic in these motos today. Who has not had problems off the starts is Mason Gonzalez, who's had 2 whole shots and a second place start in this one. And he's out front, looking good. Schwartz is going to have to do some work here.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but I tell you what, if anybody's capable, he absolutely is. We see him dissect the track before. We've seen him put his head down and charge. He has no problem with the heat and the physical aspect of it whatsoever. The guy's a chip. Wow.
Christian Fernandez airing it out, just being dropped. Kevin Kelly says, almost like just coming out of a building, just dropped down on the racetrack.
Poof, fell out of that tree in front of us.
This whole moto, he's been working that. He started out by 6th, 7th place position, and we've seen him move up. Actually, he was a little further back than that, and he moved up to that 6th place and now up to a 4th place position.
Not for long. Man, that's unbelievable. Christian Fernandez was absolutely hauling the mail, airing everything out, and yet still Schwartz goes around him. And that's going to put Schwartz quickly into 4th. Luhovi, your whole shot artist, is in 3rd. Robertson right now looking to challenge Mason Gonzalez for the lead. This is your battle. Robertson on that 25, the Husqvarna working the inside. Everybody going roll inside with these 10 commandments, but let's see how they exit. And a nice move by Robertson. He's going to just go wherever the heck Gonzalez isn't going.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, nobody's ever said, there's nowhere to pass. This whole track, there's room to pass. And look at this, again, on the attack, trying to use that momentum wedge. And again, holy cow.
Oh, working it outside. Wait a minute.
Big mistake by Gonzalez. Too much weight on the front end. That knobby grabbed, pulled him right off the track. There was a hook at the end of that rut.
I know, and they were side by side, so both guys knew they had to be absolutely perfect. They rush it. Styles on the outside got it right. Mason Gonzalez a mistake, so he gives up the lead. Styles Robertson, could he be working on 2 pro titles here this week? He would have the lead in points in the 250 class after the first 2 of 3 motos there, and working on the first moto win in Open Pro Sport. I'd venture a guess he's probably on a 250. We'll check that when he's down at the podium.
You know,
a lot of the younger riders do that.
How many guys work, to be quite honest with you. You know, I'm going to say a bunch.
Yeah, a lot of the younger guys, the teams are just like, look, you're going to be a 250 rider when you turn pro. We're not going to split time. We'll find out when this moto is over. Obviously, you're taking your chances with the starts. And you're on the 250. Rest of the track, I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, I believe you're taking your chances, you know, with multiple bikes. Like you said, you're a 250 guy. You're going to be a 250 guy. Run what you brung and go for it. And a small advantage here, in my opinion, with the horsepower.
Yeah, so maybe the start, obviously, but I don't think the rest of the track is really a big deal.
No.
And Robertson now getting away.
Hindrance in the 10 commandments. Could
450 on this track.
Could be a problem.
Yeah, man. Dylan Schwartz is 3rd. So now that he's gotten around Luhovi to take that 3rd place spot away, can he close the gap? Look at the lap times, Megawatt.
Wow, holy cow. The Schwartz is with us right now.
He just ran a 151.
You've got to be kidding.
Robertson ran a 154. Gonzalez a 156. So Schwartz is 5 seconds faster than the 2nd place rider and 3 seconds faster than your leader. So you're going to see a number 74 Suzuki on the screen soon.
And there's not enough in this column for these guys.
No, the gap.
Okay, there's not enough in this column to overcome
They need a 20-second gap. Woo!
There he is.
Took Michael Lessie out coming up into the tower. So this is a big deal right here. Schwartz is kind of that pivot point as we watch him on the Suzuki of the Moto. It's all going to come down to, in these next 2 laps, can he bridge that gap? Can he get to them and put pressure on? He's got the speed. There's no doubt. He's got to work in the track position.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. Like I said, at the rate he's running versus the amount of time left, just going to put in good laps, do work, and the rest will come to him. Is that right?
Well, that's a hope, but we did see in his other moto earlier today running this pace, he ended up making a mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's, and it almost happens again.
Enough, Jason Wygant.
Oh, sorry, I'm putting the hex on this guy. But you don't run 2 to 3 seconds a lap quicker without hanging it out. But Robertson and Gonzalez just responded. They both went into the 152s. Sure. And Schwartz did that mistake, a 153. He just lost ground.
He absolutely lost ground.
Wow.
No doubt about it.
So that changes things in a hurry. We thought it's a matter of time before he's going to get to them. He's actually now going to have to make up more ground.
A little more ground. As it stands now, just about 10 minutes in. So definitely some time left in this one. And even though those guys picked up a little time right there. I think he's going to hit the reset button, and we're going to have a race to the end right here.
Yeah, as I said, this is the pivotal part, the pivot point of this moto. It's either going to be Schwartz making it a 3-rider battle.
Yep.
By the end of about 2 laps, we're going to know.
Right.
He's either in it or out of it. Oh, but he looks good through these 10 commandments. Look at that. Tripling toward the finish of it. Back to our leader, Styles Robertson. Oh, sorry, that's actually second place Gonzalez on the Yamaha. There is Robertson. I'll tell you what, Styles, man, don't let the name fool you. It's not about the style for him. He is just rock solid, steady, doesn't make mistakes.
That's exactly right, and it's all about the consistency for him. He hits his marks, dude. We say that sound like a broken record, sound like your trainer, but he picks good lines and hits these marks. Yeah, we're seeing that more than ever. Even at the pro level, you're not necessarily seeing just someone, they do it because they're the fastest. It's more about doing it every lap. And I know actually with some of the technology they have, these Lit Pro devices, for example, where you can track GPS. Oh, my goodness.
I know what the trainers actually, a lot of them look for now. It's not the fastest time. It's the percentage gained and lost. Whatever your best time is, they want all the laps to be within 2%, 3%. And I think they've all realized you have more to gain by staying closer to your fast lap than you do by trying to make your fast lap faster.
I would believe that.
Yeah. 2/10 every single lap is going to add up more than having one awesome lap.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. And that one awesome lap could lead to a big swap in the commandments.
It happened. I mean, we almost saw Schwartz go down near the finish.
For sure.
So let's give you an update now. They did it again. Robertson just went in the 151s, and so did Gonzalez.
Nice.
They both put in their best lap of the moto here on lap 6. They are pulling away from Schwartz.
Look at that.
Way to respond.
Wow, absolutely. Absolutely.
Vincent
and that's what we
here.
look for down here. Who responds? Who answers? Who can handle that pressure, man?
I don't feel like you see that in other races when somebody's getting caught and they actually step up the pace.
Hey, at one level.
Yeah, at the highest.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens here.
Okay, dig it.
Watching Gonzalez second, I'll give you the full rundown. When Luhovi is in 4th. Go ahead,
When number 4 passed number 7 at Unadilla, number 7 said, okay, let's go this fast.
Turn it up.
Let's go and 4 said, okay, now let's go this fast.
That's right.
So that's the only place you see that, except for here at the ranch. And these guys just did it.
Yeah, it's the highest level for these kids. Preston Kilroy is 5th. Christian Fernandez 6th. Austin Black 7th. Jace Kessler 8th. Cullen Park 9th. Been a rough week for Park.
Yeah.
One of the favorites coming in.
Yep.
Chandler Baker 10th. Braden Lessler 11th. Jack Rogers 12th. Brandon Walther 13th. Robbie Marshall, the veteran out of New England, is 14th. He had a good start. Cody Groves 15th. Joshua Varize is 16th. Caleb Weaver 17th. Jair Mitchell 18th. McCoy Bro 19th. And Trevor Schmidt. That rounds out your top 20. That's all brought to you by Yamaha. And speaking of that, Mason Gonzalez not going away.
No, man, he's here to stay and got very consistent there. Faded at about lap, I don't want to say faded, but leveled out about lap 4. And here we are 3 laps later, late into the race. And you sure he's getting the pit board? You sure he knows exactly where he's at and what the time is? And might have been holding just a little back.
Well, he can see it. He's just close enough to see Robertson here. So that's going to help. Get that little toe when we had Ricky Carmichael up at the booth yesterday explaining that one to us. Got to be able to see the guy. Dylan Schwartz, I'm not sure what happened. He had 3 laps of fury there, and now he's going 154. They stretched it to 9 seconds over the Suzuki rider. Never know, could be a little problem here or there that slowed him up. I mean, the simplest thing sometimes, you get mud in the rear brake or something like that.
That brake pedal could be jammed.
Yeah.
Anything, man. It's anything.
He's about 2 seconds off of a lap of where he was earlier in this one. His best lap time of 151.8. Just turned to 154.3 now. So the focus is back to this. Styles Robertson, long time Kawasaki Team Green man, now with the Rockstar Husqvarna Group. Switched after the races last year where he won in the B class with Kawasaki. And he is maintaining or even exceeding that level of performance this year.
Well, the Rockstar rider is rock solid right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's putting in great laps. And right there you see Gonzalez get up out of that big rut. See him go between the 2 ruts. Literally climbed out of it on purpose. Doing anything he can to shorten that distance. Doing anything he can to chew up some of that real estate. Time running out now, Weege.
Oh, Gonzalez is definitely feeling the flow. Let's see, and Michael Alessi up here with us watching. He thinks that it might have gotten a little bit closer this last time around.
Yeah.
They're deep into lap traffic. Oh, that actually might have slowed up Gonzalez more than it did your leader, Robertson. No, just like that, Robertson actually added 0.2 of a second. I think Gonzalez was closer, but that one lap rider made all the difference. Watching Open Pro Sport here, hashtag Loretta Lynn MX on RacerTV.com. Yamaha rider past the Yamaha mechanics area. Of course, it's the Monster Energy AMA Amateur National Championship from Loretta's. And a big thanks to everybody who helps make it possible. Companies like MX vs. ATV, Polisport, Dunlop, all the manufacturer supporters that are out here as well. Oakley, Arma. This is pretty cool. Michael Alessi and Luke Collection coming up in the tower to study the video and pointing out some lines is Mike, who's one of the all-time best at this ranch. And we're just kind of eavesdropping on their competition. But they're eavesdropping on, they're eavesdropping on us. We're going to eavesdrop on them.
Exactly. It's fair play.
Yep. So they're competitors, man. They're trying to learn everything they can. Robertson, again, just so solid in those ruts.
I tell you though, Gonzalez, man, not letting him go, being very smooth, not pushing the bike, okay, not overriding the bike.
Yeah.
We've seen that several times today and yesterday, and you just can't do that. You have to put in as hard an effort as you can. You have to play it smart sometime or another. But as you let the race come to you, we're going to run into different conditions and those lappers.
Over this anthill in the center of the track is the 93 of Gonzalez, Schwartz, Luhovi, and Kilroy. No change there. Talked to the Suzuki folks a little earlier today. Schwartz is going to race the pro race next week.
Oh, I can't wait.
15th. Yep.
Yeah.
RX Suzuki team will stay here. They'll go racing into the pro ranks. Not sure what everybody else's plans are. They might not know, actually, until this week is over.
Yeah. Hey, how about VLJ, Vinny Luhovi Jr. hanging in there?
Yeah,
got the whole shot,
yep.
man. He's PA boy up there, knows how to ride this kind of dirt and stuff. And Vinny, I'll promise you, he puts in the work. He works hard, and you know what? Pays a lot of his own bills, man. Cool. Vinny does, for sure.
All right, so 2 laps to go, thanks to our ace scout, Michael Alessi, and that means I'll head to the podium. Will it be Robertson, Gonzalez, and Schwartz in that order? Maybe not.
Well, all right, Jason. The stage is set, and I can tell you, we watched these lap times drop and drop, leveled out right now about 152. The best Rodney was like 151.3 coming on lap 6.
Yeah, and you know, kind of a surprise, not kind of a surprise to see it come so late in the race, to be honest with you. But I think as much as anything, that was when the statement needed to be made. I mean, those guys were really pushing hard through that first half of that moto, and then when they got to that point, he just needed that little bit of breathing room. And so, hey, and the other, you had to lay it out. You had to try. I mean, you had to keep that pace. You see it forces Gonzalez into a little bit of a mistake there. It takes him back. But, you know, that gap now starting to widen to 2.8 seconds. Dylan Schwartz now 10.5 seconds. He's been maintaining a consistent 154. And Jason saying something about that a few moments ago made me think, you know, with this being Moto #1, Dylan really had to work hard, not only in this moto, but we got to take into account what Dylan did just a little while ago in that second moto of 250 Pro Sport Class Racing. So taking that into account, this being Moto #1, reeling up on these guys as much as he did in this first moto of the Open Pro Sport, he's thinking, and I'm sure that other folks are thinking, okay, let's settle in on this third. Let's take this third. If something better comes along, we'll go for it. But let's not waste ourselves. Let's not overextend ourselves. Let's save what we can save. We've got 2 more motos to go out and win this championship in.
Well, I'm going to give you my take a little bit on that. He went out and he pushed so hard. And I've told you before, Big Rick Carmichael told me, he said, what separated Ricky? And Michael understand when I say this. What separated Ricky Carmichael more than anything, not training, not nutrition, all this, Ricky was willing to cross the line. Well, he was willing to, Mike said he was willing to risk his life for it. When you ride that fast, that's what but he had the innate ability to bring it back. When he did cross that line, more times than not, man, he come up a winner, you know, more times than not. And when somebody else tried to match that pace or tried to get comfortable doing that, it just doesn't work out. And I think Schwartz might have did that. He might have crossed the line just a bit there, made a couple mistakes and said, you know what, let's finish this thing on 2 wheels instead of arguing ourselves into the ground today.
I have to agree. And very good answer. I'm not going to dispute that. I tell you what, I am looking at here, though. 10 laps down right now. I believe we're rolling through this final lap of racing here. Styles Robertson leading 3 seconds now over Mason Gonzalez. 12.9 back to Dylan Schwartz. Preston Kilroy in fourth. VLJ, as they call him, Vincent LaHovie Jr. in the number 5 position. Then in 6th place, Austin Black, Jace Kessler, Christian Fernandez. And he had some pretty good pushes going on earlier in this moto, dropping back to 8th. Colin Park getting a top, 16th, 17th place start. Able to move up into the top 10. I think I've seen him at 8th place at one point, but settled back into that number 9 position with Chandler Baker back in the number 10 spot. Brandon Walther 11th. Braden Lessler in 12th. Joshua Verrees in 13th. Jairi Mitchell 14th. Cody Groves in 15th. Jack Rogers 16th. McCoy Bro in 17th. Robert Marshall 18th. 19th. Trevor Smith. Isaiah Clark rounding out your top 20. And that's the way we see it here at the checkers. We got Styles Robertson checking in there. Mason Gonzalez and Dylan Schwartz will be coming through there in just a moment. Well, Michael Lessie joining us here. You've been watching this one, bro. I tell you, man, that right there showed some pretty exciting and I think a lot of heart.
A lot of heart. Those guys were going at it. And it just showed that they both wanted to win that first moto, set the tone for that Open Pro, that class going into the second moto. And they wanted to see who was going to be the authority and take control of that moto.
Whenever you look at it from the big picture, what are you seeing from that? Do you think Dylan Schwartz is a big authority, even though he only got up the third in that moto?
Well, like I said, the first moto, a top 3, top 5 is as good as a win and setting the first moto, so you're set for the second moto to have a good, consistent week. And with the ranch here, you have to get good, consistent finishes all 3 races, and that could be enough to win the title. It doesn't necessarily you have to go 1-1 in the second moto or third moto. You could end up having a bike problem, crash, something like that, and you end up getting a 10th, and the title's over. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it happens so quick, blink of an eye. Things like that come down, and of course, coming down to the podium with Jason Wygant here in just a couple of moments. Styles Robertson, Mason Gonzalez, Dylan Schwartz. Megawatt.
Again, I got to say, very, very rarely do you see 2 riders up front push each other forward. Normally, they slow each other down and allow someone like Schwartz to catch up.
Yeah. And Schwartz wasn't catching.
No, yeah, absolutely. And these two absolutely understood that. And it was just like James and Ricky, where they pushed each other faster. Instead of hindering each other, they just pretty much pulled away from the pack lap after lap after lap.
They made each other go faster in each corner, every jump, and every lap. They were just raising the bar just a little bit more. And it kind of reminded me a lot of that 450B moto with Luke and
Marcellisi. Or no,
hey, we'll get there, boys. I got to take it on a podium, and we'll keep bench racing. We can, with Michael Lessie up there, we'll bench race for hours. We got our gold medalist firing first here in this Pro Sport division, Styles Robertson. Man, you're rolling now. You just feel like you're in the groove?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm out there just doing my practice laps and trying to stay smooth and just remember everything that I've learned over the past couple months with Eldon and Mike and Seth. And didn't get tired. So yeah, it was a good moto.
All right, man, who do you want to thank?
Mike Brown's helped me so much. I got to thank him, and the whole Baker's Factory. Eldon's helped me so much. Seth, just everybody. My mom, my dad, my family for coming, and the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, Garnet, Fly, WP, Motor X, FMF, Pro Taper, Scott, Fly, Garnet, and Dunlop, and just everybody that helps our program. We're super thankful.
2 moto wins today in Pro Sport classes. Let's hear it for Styles Robertson. Crushing it right now, but keeping him honest at every step is Mason Gonzalez. We'll bring up the number 93 of the Rock River Yamaha team. Great ride. He's been nailing his starts, and he's been strong to the end. We got to get Mason up there, and we'll talk to our second place finisher, and then third is Dylan Schwartz, and our whole shot went to Vinny LaHovie, so we'll talk to him in a moment as well. So let's take our second place finisher on up. There he is. Well, this guy's leaving it all out there on the racetrack. If he does end up second in a moto, it's not for lack of trying. He kept Robertson honest all the way to the end. He ends up at the silver. That's not bad for a first moto. It's going to keep himself in title contention on the Rock River Yamaha, Mason Gonzalez. Well, you didn't let him off the hook again, man. You did everything you could.
Yeah. Got off to a decent start. Was around second there. Made the pass pretty quick. And yeah, I was just trying to get in the flow, and he ended up getting by me. I made a little mistake, went off the track. He got by me, then started following him around for a little bit, and just try to pace myself and try to get in his pace. He was riding really good, and yeah.
You got something you can take back and think where you can step up next moto?
Of lines, there's a lot of lines out there. There's really deep lines, and there's shallow lines, and you have to find those shallow ones that carry your momentum around. You don't want to get stuck up in those big bumps and those deep ruts. So if anything, just want to make better decisions that way. Yeah.
Understood. All right, who do you want to thank, Mason?
I just want to thank the whole Rock River Yamaha team, my dad, my mom, my whole family, MTF, my mechanic Jake, Bell, 100% Thor, Alpine Stars, Monster Energy, ODI, FMF, Dunlop, and everybody else I forgot. Thank you.
Mason Gonzalez, second place. I want to get third up here is Dylan Schwartz and also Vinny Luhovi, who grabbed our Stasic Whole Shot Award. Good job by Schwartz on the Suzuki to end up third. Let's bring Vinny on up, and we'll hand out the Stasic Whole Shot, and we'll also get Schwartz ready. So if Schwartz is cooling off, we'll bring him up. It's our Whole Shot winner. You can grab the big check. No, not third, just Whole Shot. Ken on up, big check right there. We'll take your photo. So Whole Shot in this one, and a good hard run. Let's hear it for the number 11 of Vinny Luhovi. Good job at the start. We'll let you thank some people if you want to go to the mic. Who do you want to thank for that start?
I'd like to thank my whole family, my dad. You know, he's been teaching me the hard way, pouring concrete during the week.
Wow.
And, you know, Trumex, Race Tech, Department of Power, Sunstar, ODI, Jeff, Cieslak, NPR. Sorry, I'm tired. But, you know, just everyone that's been helping me. And we've been trying new things with the bike. And I was actually like a test run in the sight lap. I'm jumping around, like trying it. But we're trying different things, and we're getting there. So that's all.
All right. Looking for a podium next time. Let's hear it for Vinny Luhovi with our Stasic Whole Shot Award. Good job. And where is Dylan Schwartz, who finished up third? That's a bronze medal in the Pro Sport class. And running some fast lap times, just couldn't quite keep that hammer down all the way and catch those guys in front of him. Looking for Schwartz. There we go. Well, I'll tell you what, this guy's been lighting up the scoreboard as far as the fast lap times, but had a little too much ground to make up this time. But it's early in the week, certainly in title contention. Let's hear it for the Bar X Suzuki man, Dylan Schwartz. Well, you had the pace, you had the speed for sure. Just couldn't keep gaining on him. Did something change at mid-race?
No, I picked gate 35, and on a 250 against the 450s, it's not easy to get a good start.
Yeah.
So I was way back on the first lap, and by the time I got into third, they had a decent lead, and I just did what I could, and to be honest, I was a little tired after passing all those guys.
Yep.
But I did the best I could.
All right, so third in the first moto, you got more for the next two.
Yeah, third, I mean, we could still win it with a 3, so.
For sure. And you got the speed to do it. Who do you want to thank, Dylan?
The whole Bar X Motorsports team, Suzuki, Fly, 100%, CTI knee braces, Twisted Development, Pirelli, Mika Metals, my whole family for supporting me, Big Mac, Larry, my mechanic, David, Moto, my gym trainer back home, Tanya Reese, I know she's watching. Big thank you to her, and Rhino Power and everyone that supports me. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Dylan Schwartz. Good run, third place. Going to be fun to watch these three and more duke it out for a championship all week. I'll send it back up to the tower.
All right, thanks.